So Samsung may have accidentally created two completely different Galaxy S27 lineups this year. One is getting closer to the Ultra. The other is quietly becoming something else entirely. Let me explain. The S27 Pro is expected to be smaller than the S27 Ultra, but Samsung seems to be packing it with as many Ultra features as possible. And now, the latest leak confirms one of the biggest ones. According to reliable leaker, the S27 Pro is getting the privacy display that debuted on the S26 Ultra. And honestly, after using it on the S26 Ultra for almost 5 months, this is one of those features that sounds like a gimmick until you actually rely on it daily. The wild part is that Samsung reportedly won't license this panel tech to anyone else, including Apple, even though Apple buys iPhone displays from Samsung. So yes, it's a smart power move. But the bigger story is what this says about the Pro itself. Because the display is just the start. On camera, the Pro is reportedly getting the same 200-megapixel main sensor and 50-megapixel ultra-wide as the S27 Ultra. The only real gap is zoom. The Pro gets a 50-megapixel telephoto at 3.5x, while the Ultra reaches 5x, so the Ultra still wins on paper. But 3.5x on a 50-megapixel sensor is close enough and more useful. So the Pro isn't a bigger base model anymore. It's basically a smaller Ultra without the S Pen. Now hold that thought, because while the Pro climbs, the standard S27 is going the exact opposite way. Reports out of Korea say Samsung's mobile chief is flying to China this month to finalize a deal for BOE to supply the base S27s display. That would be the first time in 16 years. A Galaxy S flagship ships without a Samsung-made screen. It saves Samsung about $5 per panel. Sounds like nothing, but across millions of base units, that turns into tens of millions in savings on one model alone. On top of that, the base reportedly keeps the older M13 screen material, while the Ultra moves to M14. So even before you look at cameras, the base is already a generation behind. And then there's the cameras. If the leaks hold, the base S27 runs essentially the same camera specs Samsung has used since the S22. That's 6 straight years. The sensor model changes on paper, but the size, the resolution, the pixels, all basically frozen. Now, to be fair, this keeps the price from climbing again. But the base S26 already jumped to $899 last year, so you're paying more than ever for quietly cheaper hardware. So one half of this lineup is becoming a pure Ultra, and the other is becoming a budget phone wearing a flagship badge. And if that was the end of it, Samsung could at least argue it was keeping prices under control. But the split doesn't stop there. Samsung officially confirmed the Exynos 2700. According to the head of its chip division, it's being developed without setbacks for flagship phones. And here's how it reportedly breaks down. The base S27 and the S27 Plus get the Exynos, while the Pro and the Ultra get Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro. Samsung wants the Exynos in about half of all S27 shipments this time, up from a quarter last year. Now, the confirmation is real, and pushing Exynos this hard is a genuine comeback attempt. But here's the irony. Samsung is trying to prove Exynos is back, while its chip division is still under pressure from costly 2nm production. And if you think Samsung is creating problems inside the S27 lineup, wait until you see what it's doing with the Z Fold 8, because one upgrade makes it feel more Ultra than the actual Ultra. Click right here to watch it in full. This is Techtics, and I'll see you there.